Hello again. Uh, it's August. Oh, wait. Whatever, I just made it. Um, no, I'm getting my. It's August. Yippee! This is also the first video of August, and I'm pretty sure we get, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we get more than usual because of the way August is. The video that would usually be in July is in the 1st of August. Um, but anywho, goals. Talk about what I how I completed for last month, and then talk about what I plan to do this month. Um, so as far as goals go, I actually did fail one of them, but I didn't fail it in like a catastrophic way. It was just something I need to improve on a little bit. Also, I got into community college, which is pretty cool. I still have to do like a little bit of setup for that, but uh, I got like a week, and I was gonna do it tonight anyway, so not not really much of an issue. In terms of goals that I actually did complete, my porn goal, which was use it a minimum or a maximum of 2 times a day. That's a maximum, and I gave myself the bonus goal of making it only once. I succeeded in both of those. I would either not use it all, or I would only do it once, and it wasn't much of an issue. I didn't really have too much of a problem limiting myself. I think the biggest reason why is obviously because I could do it whenever I wanted to, at whatever day I wanted to. I wasn't limiting myself to what days I was doing, so it was just very easy to limit myself. And oftentimes, I just didn't even. Sometimes I didn't even feel like doing it, and I'd catch myself having the urge to do it at night because it felt like I would be squandering a resource if I didn't do anything, which is a stupid idea, a stupid way of thinking. At least in my opinion, it is. But I don't really like wasting things, and my brain has become again semi-reliant on this stuff. So I see it as a waste if I don't do it, and I know that I'll probably end up struggling. Uh, but now that I've completed that, the continuation that I'm going to be doing this month is, since I've been able to do it with just one, I'm just going to do it with just one. I'm not allowed to do two. Maximum is one per day. I know it's a pretty big drop, but because I was able to do it last month, I should be able to do it this month. I think, well, this is going to be great for conditioning me to be able to only really rely on it once a day. I still think trying to cut down on the days is going to be very difficult for me because just I am procedurally cutting down and sort of restricting myself, and it becomes a lot more difficult to adhere to those restrictions even when I've conditioned myself to not be nearly as reliant on this as a whole thing. And I would also be remiss to share the realization that even if I am going to be doing other stuff like college stuff, I'm still not going to have like 100% of my free time dedicated to like a hobby I already have. I already shared how lockpicking is incredibly hard for me to continually do because I don't have any other practice locks, and if I wanted to, I'd have to do it on the ones we have on our doors, which is very difficult and incredibly uncomfortable. So, kind of just not something I'd want to do. I'll screw with the ones I already have, but they're so easy to do just because of the nature of who made the locks that I just it's just not a challenge at all, and it immediately doesn't become much of a much of a much entertainment, really. It's more of a fidget toy that barely requires my attention. Um, and also, Sometimes I just don't feel like I'm in the mood to play games or watch any of the TV shows that I want to watch. I'm just kind of like just bored of everything, and sometimes that just requires me to sit down and do nothing. So, and those kind of have my mind wandering sometimes, which can lead me to utilizing pornography to stop the boredom. Because even though I've tried really hard, I've done quite a bit. It's still pretty difficult to turn my brain into realizing that boredom might not be the worst thing in the world. So I guess I should just work on that a little more, and maybe also try to find another hobby that I'd be interested in taking up. Um, Next goal: brushing my brushing my teeth twice a day for every day except for Saturday. This is just the natural evolution. I failed this one, and it wasn't because I was sick. It wasn't intentional. I just forgot. Like, I had just forgotten to brush my teeth, and that's all. It was because I dismissed my alarm instead of setting it on snooze, and I've gotten marginally better. I put myself in a couple of scenarios over the past week to where I would have to set it to snooze, and it has helped. It has worked. So I'm gonna just keep conditioning my brain to work with that instead of um, instead of just turning my alarm off when I'm busy. Uh, I am going to go ahead and make it so that I'm doing it, brushing my teeth at twice a day every day, because one, I wanted to be at this point by time my next dentist appointment is, which is this month. So, and also because it was one time, one singular failure, and since then I have gotten a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And if I do fail, it's going to stay as a goal for a while. But otherwise, it's going to be, I think, a couple months, and then I can move on to something else. Think of another goal into where I need to improve, which my inconsistency with being able to shower more than once a week is definitely somewhere that would be within at least that realm. It fits within hygiene, and I have been having a really hard time consistently doing it on the same days for even just once a week, which kind of sucks when you're trying to build a little bit of a schedule for yourself. So hopefully, I kind of just I can get done with this teeth brushing while also passively working on passively. It is an active thing I have to work on, but working on showering more. So maybe that doesn't even have to be a goal later on. But yeah, that's the whole idea. Doing things outside or going outside for like 5 minutes every day or doing something outside. Yeah, every day that I could do it, I did it. No question, I did. Sometimes I would forget and I would just listen to music outside for a bit at night, which is actually really nice. Sometimes I wouldn't even listen to music and I'd just sit out there, which again, despite it being summer and it still being kind of hot at nighttime, it was really nice. Just real good. And I rather enjoyed it. So I think I'm probably going to end up doing more of that. I also said how I'm going to, once I complete that, I'm going to instead start working on sleeping at certain times. And the goal for this month is sleep at midnight. I don't sleep should be in quotations because I don't fully expect myself to actually be able to just go to sleep by midnight. I'm more expecting myself to at least be in my bed and getting getting into the process of sleeping by midnight at the very least. And the more I do that, if I complete it, the more I do it, I drop it down to 8 o'clock because I think 8 o'clock is a pretty healthy time to go to bed since I seem to sleep for around 7 to 8 hours each night. Um, that should put me like relatively early in the morning, and if I have stuff to do, I can just get myself like some to eat and not really fully worry about it. I can even brush my teeth afterwards, and it sort of makes a little schedule for me that allows me to thrive during the day instead of during the afternoon, evening, and at night, and allow me to uh, actually during sleep a lot more sleep a lot better during the nighttime, sort of sync up my circadian rhythm with the actual sun instead of whenever I feel like it. Uh, and like I referred to in the last video, I did want to get my to-do list sort of put down. I changed it to do goals for just a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but it's nothing crazy. It's not just me playing games. It's more challenges that I want to undertake in some of the games I play, or maybe even a challenge that I want to undertake that I don't think is fully worthy of going into like my major goals or my. I guess I'm just changing it to goals, and then have a sort of life thing as the top as per usual. So overall, I'd say last month was rather successful. Aside from the whole getting sick thing and not being able to do stuff, but again, I hopped on pretty quick. Um, I guess I should also talk about the vacuuming thing since I've been talking about it for a while now. Um, man, I feel like shit today, and I've really been debating whether or not I wanted to do it today. But I realized I got to do the bare minimum at least. I did the bare. No, I didn't even do the bare minimum. I did a little more than the bare minimum, so I could do get back into groove because my cousins were here, fucked up my groove. Not their fault, like I said, entirely my fault for letting it get fucked up. Just a whole mess of stuff that messed it up. So I'm trying to get back into it, but I felt like hell. I still kind of feel like shit today. And while I don't necessarily want to, well, I don't necessarily want to not do any vacuuming today. I just feel like so much shit, and I'm trying to my brain, much as it likes to do, I am trying to get out of doing it. Yeah, I'm making excuses to get out of doing it, which is bad, and I've been actively fighting against that quite a lot. I don't know how to address that. I'm still thinking of ways. I just don't know what to do. But yeah, I should be capable of at least doing the bare minimum today. I don't know when I'm going to do it. Maybe it's later at night, but I'm going to try to do the bare minimum at the very least. And then just keep that up until I'm back into the groove of things. Okay. Um uh ugh. Yeah. I don't really have too much else to say other than I am looking forward to actually doing the college stuff. I will say getting into it has been infuriating for me just because of myself. It's not even because of like the school system or nothing. I recognize that I was actually not getting the email as they said that I was supposed to. I thought it was a bit bizarre. Except I didn't fucking read. Really, really standing up to the stereotype of a Dragon Ball fan not being capable of reading. I just didn't read the email, like at all. I just saw application in processing. I didn't read that it was supposed to come in 2 to 3 business days, and I definitely didn't read that if it didn't come, I was supposed to call the front desk. When I did read that, much later because of my own suspicions, my mind started making up excuses. Well, you didn't read it, so let's just act like you didn't know that it was supposed to happen, and if they don't get back to you, you'll just try next time. And yeah, I've been doing that for so long. Yeah, I have been doing that for a really long time, and it is infuriating. It is really infuriating. Not to mention the time when I would have rather the time when I was waiting for it, which I guess I should have expected it. It's just a community college. It's not like I'm trying to get into anything crazy, but it stressed me out for no apparent reason. Then, well, it should have gotten here in 2 days. It hasn't. Hmm. And that just stressed me the hell out. So I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a coping mechanism to try and feel less stress, put me in situations where I don't feel as much stress, but I don't like it. It stops me from doing things that I actually want to do. And when I'm not doing the coping, I get pissed. Cuz why didn't you do it? Because you fucking coped about it? That's not a reason. That's stupid. Sometimes it's fair because I don't necessarily know why I don't want to do things. I just know that I don't want to do them. And I don't think it's a fully bad thing because sometimes it's used to cope with other people, especially some more imposing forces like my dad. It's totally fair. But in times like this when I'm actively fighting against myself, I don't need that shit at all. I don't need that coping mechanism whatsoever. If anything, it needs to be discarded when it's just me because I don't need to cope against myself. If it's other people, then that's fine. Especially when they're imposing things that you just don't want to do. That's completely plausible. But with yourself, it makes no sense. It is not just irrational. It is the biggest form of self-sabotage I've ever experienced. It's it's again, all I can say is that it's just infuriating, and I have to figure out a way of dealing with it. Lucky me, the day that I started coping, I got the email like in the evening that I got accepted, so it wasn't like an issue whatsoever. But I was still really mad that I even started doing that cope and didn't like immediately call the phone number. Like, which sure, part of that is social anxiety. I remember when I was trying to get my credentials for my high school, like I think it was a year later. Um, I was hyping myself up to talk to the lady at the front desk just to figure out where the fuck I was supposed to go to get that. That like yikes. I don't know what it is. It's specifically about initiating conversations that I have an issue. So having to call somebody in order to get something sorted out is just awful for me. It just feels awful, even if it's really not all that bad. So yeah, I gotta figure out how to deal with that a little better. And honestly, I don't really like that I can't start conversations. I don't mind having social anxiety. I think maybe it's normal. I think it's a little normal to have a little bit of it, but I don't like that it inhibits me. I don't like that it actually stops me from like doing anything. So that's I guess another issue that I'm gonna have to deal with. Hell, that social anxiety kind of translates over to talking with my friends as well. So uh, yeah, yeah, just yeah. It makes me want to scoff at myself. Um, but I suppose I don't really have much else to talk about. In that case, I will see myself next time. Ooh, I gotta set for the middle of the month a reminder that I gotta do the fear video.